So it is 4:00. I will call to order the December meeting of the Bloomington Board of Park Commissioners. And could we please start with the roll call, Kim?
Yes, Kathleen Mills.
Here.
Ellen Rodkey.
Here.
Israel Herrera.
Here.
And Jim Whitlatch.
Here.
Okay, thank you. So then we move to Section A, the consent calendar, which has a number of items that we don't need to take individual votes on, but we've had a chance to look over all of the details for a couple of days now, some service and partnership agreements, and that sort of thing. So do we have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay.
Second.
All right. And then I guess we need to do the roll call vote for approval here. So
Kathleen.
Yeah.
Kathleen Mills. I'm sorry.
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey.
Aye.
Israel Herrera.
Aye.
James Whitlatch.
Aye.
Okay. All right. So that unanimously passes. And then we move into our Section B awards and introductions. And our Bravo Award today, Sarah Owen will tell us about Pip Chamberlain's volunteer service.
Thanks, Kathleen. Sarah Owen, Community Relations Coordinator. For this month's Bravo Award, which recognizes our standout volunteers, we wanted to recognize Philip, otherwise known as Pip Chamberlain. He has served as a volunteer coach with our Bloomington Youth Basketball program for the last decade, literally putting in hundreds of hours of his own personal time to serve the children in this community who are learning their basketball fundamentals. For anyone who may not be familiar, our Bloomington Youth Basketball program has 3 seasons, but in terms of where we need volunteer coaches, it's for seasons 2 and 3. It caters to K through 6, and then season 3 continues with K through 6, as well as adding in middle school grades of 7 and 8 for kids to apply fundamental skills. And Pip is always one of our most enthusiastic coaches, always ready to sign up as soon as the new season becomes available. And he has a long history of coaching service in the community, volunteering with other programs such as YMCA, the Boys and Girls Club, Tier 10, Indiana Knights. And he really found this love of volunteering when he first volunteered to help coach his son. He is a near lifelong Bloomingtonian. He's grown up here since he was young, and he has a wife and 2 almost grown kids. But he had, even though his kids might be past the age of coaching, he has remained devoted to that in the community. And we are so grateful to him for all the time he's put in with Bloomington Youth Basketball. And that's why we wanted to recognize him this month as our Bravo Award winner.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. And I don't know if we have Pip here.
I think we do. And actually, I think we also have a Bravo Award slide. Kim, if you could share that, that would be great. And Pip, I hope you don't mind. I stole a photo of you from Facebook that I really liked.
I can handle it.
That was good. But yeah, if you'd like to say a few words, go ahead.
I'll tell you, I'm greatly honored to get this. And I've had, you know, what's neat about coaching is the impact that you can make with all the kids, but also all the great people in the community I've met. And I do want to go ahead and do a shout out for some of the people in your staff or the Bloomington Parks and Rec staff. Number one, I've greatly enjoyed dealing with you, Sarah. Scott Peterson is phenomenal. Mark Sterner, you know, those dudes are pals of mine. The other thing as well, not just basketball, because the city of Bloomington has entered into a non-competition agreement on baseball. You know, so you've got basically Bloomington Junior League Baseball Association and Monroe County Senior League Baseball Association. I've done 31 teams in those, and some of the great people from Dave Huss, Ron Drehos, and all the great different people. The president typically changes every couple of years, but there's a whole group of people I've met through that. Probably about total 600 plus kids and innumerable numbers of coaches and assistant coaches. Been the best thing I've ever done.
Wow, that's excellent. And I'm admiring all those team pictures behind you there.
That's about half of them. We're going on a total of 76 different teams. 2 games tonight, 600 plus games. That's a ton of pregame, postgame, halftime, pitcher mound visit speeches. But I'm always ready to come up with some words. So
That's excellent. That must be a record. So thank you so much for all of your incredible volunteer coaching service.
Kathleen, I know I wouldn't mind just,
Yeah.
Pip didn't mention me, but I think when I was doing youth basketball, he was maybe already
5
there
or
as an
6 years back.
existing. But
you were way better than Scott. And
thank you. That's a great recovery. That's a great recovery.
7 years ago.
Yeah, just something like that. But our boys grew up in that league, and I really have always appreciated the way Pip goes about his coaching philosophy, and it just makes our job so much easier when you have coaches that are on board. No matter what level of team we gave him, he was gung-ho to do what he could. So I just wanted to chime in that I really appreciated my time working with you as well, Pip.
I always tell people I could lose with the best of them. And when you're in recreational sports, that's the key thing, is just whether the kids improve, make friends, learn how to work together as a team. But as I always tell guys and gals too, that it's a lot of fun winning games. So.
All right. And there's the slide. Well, thank you again, Pip. Parks Department, Parks Board really appreciate your service.
Congratulations. Yeah. Well,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
And if there's anyone that looks like a virtual background, but for Pip, it's the real thing. For anyone else, it would be a virtual Zoom background, all those nice photos. So
That
thank you,
is
Pip.
an advantage of Zoom, right? Is that we actually got to see that. If we were
that's
at
right.
home, we wouldn't get to see that.
I'll add one more thing. I do a ton. I've done over 1,000 5K running races, have 640 unique T-shirts, and there are 600 in this garage shrine here with 2. I just got to go ahead and show this here. So you get.
Oh my heavens! It looks like another virtual background.
About 70 shirts there, and then about 400 hanging. So running and basketball and baseball, I'm known for.
Oh my goodness! Literally the most colorful background I've ever had.
There's no car in my half of the garage. My wife has allowed me to do it. So, but anyway, I'll go ahead and quit bothering everybody. I greatly appreciate this. Thanks again. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Pip. All right.
All right. And Sarah, go ahead and tell us about the Parks Partner Award for this month.
Yes, for the Parks Partner, we are recognizing the IU Credit Union, who is a longtime supporter of the Parks and Recreation Department in a multitude of ways. First and foremost, in no particular order, I feel like it's worth mentioning they will grace the back cover of our program guide. They have for years, and we always appreciate their advertising with us, as well as at Twin Lakes Recreation Center. And the credit union, has proven itself to be a fixture in the community for years. They have supported our performing arts series, our Bloomington Pumpkin launch, and most recently, they served as the presenting sponsor for this year's Independence Day Parade. And pictured in this slide is actually when we presented them with a sponsorship plaque for that support of the parade. And this particular year, while we had to pause it, of course, last year for safety reasons, this year was a reverse parade where the floats remained stationary and our participants drove past in their cars. We know that this is a perennial favorite in the community, and we wanted to still make it happen, but we couldn't have done so without the credit union support. So we were very grateful to them. Also, they have provided us with incredible outreach into the community at each of their brick and mortar locations, their bank branches. They allow us to put a multi-tiered rack in their foyer, and we fill it full of our program guides, and that has incredible reach into the community because those are always just picked clean. And we're so grateful to them for helping us get the word out about our programming. So we are so grateful to them. They have supported us for at least 20 years in some form or another. And we just really wanted to say thank you with the Parks Partner Award. I don't know that we have any IU Credit Union representatives who could make it today, unfortunately, but we will certainly be putting up this slide on our social media to give them a shout out and get a picture with the Parks Partner plaque.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you, Sarah. And thanks, yes, to the credit union, more than 20 years. So that's a very impressive partnership. So, all right, thanks. So then we'll move over into section C, our other business, and start with Paula will tell us about the review of the 2022, I'm still getting used to saying that,
I know, right?
non-reverting budget.
Right. Okay. Thank you all. Good afternoon. Great to see you all again in our virtual world. Our fingers crossed for when we can meet in person, but ending the year this way. And as you recall, I presented the 2022 general fund budget to you back this summer. And we ended the year with me presenting the non-reverting 2022 budget. This is a budget that you all approved. It has been reviewed by the Controller's Office, and he has advised us all along the way. So I do have a presentation that will guide us through this. And Kim set me up and we are ready to go. Can you all see my screen? Good. Okay, very good. So in your packet, you did receive the New World report that has the figures that I'll be going through. But as I said, this is the 2022 non-reverting budget. And just a little bit of background, our non-reverting budget, and you review that monthly in your packet as well, but it's our established enterprise fund. A lot of our programs that you set the fees for run through our non-reverting budget. It's developed as a zero-based budget model, just like we do our general fund budget. And it also allows a lot of flexibility in order to meet our participants and our customer needs. Again, it is a projection. So from year to year, obviously we monitor the revenue and expenses, but it also reduces the reliance on the general fund tax base. As you know, we go through that rigorous general fund approval process, but this is a whole other arm of our operation, which allows us much more greater flexibility. As the trends in programming and numbers increase or decrease, we can flex and ebb and flow with it. And the budget was developed with input from all of our staff, from staff specialists to supervisors, managers, and division directors. So taking you through the categories and just highlighting the decreases or increases, this mirrors the structure of the general fund. So starting with category 1, which is personnel, we have a decrease of 136,733, and I've outlined here in bullet points where those decreases are. A significant one was moving a position that was in the general fund, that was in non-reverting this year, into the general fund, and that is the community events coordinator position that runs the market. As you know, we are recovering, our market is in recovery, and we have a 5-year plan to do that, but obviously relieving some pressure. Back in the day of the market, it was 100% operated out of the non-reverting and covered all of our expenses, including 100% of this position. So this position is now in the general fund to give us a little bit of breathing room there. And then there was an overall decrease in seasonal positions, some in aquatics from previous years where we hired a whole bunch of staff and we have fine-tuned that down. So just a more realistic production of our seasonal positions. And then of course the associated costs with personnel positions in FICA, PERF, and health insurance. In category 2 supplies, we have a little bit of an increase of $3,379. And I can just tell you, as the same was in our general fund category 2, just the cost of supplies have gone up. We're seeing it across the board, and these are just some highlights in agricultural supplies, clearly for all the fields and turf that we maintain. Building materials and supplies, you know, we get a lot of use. We have a lot of use throughout our facility and our system, so just keeping up on that. And of course, other supplies, which are heavily related to supplies for our day camp, for special events, community events, and that those fall in line 242 other supplies. In category 3, other services, we have a decrease of 108,167, and just highlighting some of these decreases in travel, electrical services. Again, we move some of the utility costs from what was in non-reverting previously into the general fund. So there's a decrease in this budget. Building rentals, machinery, equipment, bank charges, dues and subscriptions, and temporary contractual employees are all lines that saw decreases. And again, when staff prepare this budget, it's zero-based budgeting and taking a hard look at previous year's actuals and of course the market. Also in the non-reverting budget, in the principal and interest line, this is where we pay for our Twin Lakes Recreation Center revenue bond payment. We bonded for this to purchase the building and put in the necessary repairs back in 2009. We will be finished paying this revenue bond in 2029, so just over that halfway mark. And all of the operations, except for our full-time staff costs, come out of the non-reverting. So in summary, our non-reverting fund total request for 2022 is $1,891,671, and that is a decrease of $241,521. And just to show you the numbers here, our projected revenue, and again, this is an exercise that we go through all of our program areas that generate revenue for the non-reverting and do a projection based on what we think our participation numbers are going to be in all of our programs and facility rentals. And that, so that is again a projection, and then our projected expenses with an anticipated net of a negative number of 342,556. So the formula, and again, as the asterisk points out, the Twin Lakes Rec Center bond payment is reflected obviously in these expenses. The formula that we follow per the controller's office and guidance when we present this budget and put this budget in so that we have a balanced budget is that we take the projected revenue, in which this case is $1,549,115, plus what we have in the non-reverting cash balance. And I've shown you our figures here, what we started the year with and where we currently are as of November 30th. And then we subtract out our expenses for the year. So we will be dipping into our non-reverting cash balance a little bit as we present this budget. But again, this is a budget obviously that we monitor very, very closely as registrations come in. Right now, we're still very much in recovery mode, even though the pandemic hit in 2020 and our non-reverting balance took a hard hit at the end of 2020. In 2021, for example, we had to close Frank Southern all of 2021, practically all of 2021. So obviously that had an impact on our non-reverting balance there. So again, emphasizing that we're still very much in recovery mode. We'll be really watching the revenues, containing costs where we can. Our programs operate on maximum and minimum numbers and that. So again, a work in progress, but we need bringing this budget forward for your approval so that we are ready to go and operate in January of 2022. And that is the end of my presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you, Paula. Any questions from other board members for Paula? Okay. All right. Yes. Well, I don't have any questions. I just wanted to say thank you, as always, for being such a really careful steward of that money. And I know it's been up and down. In my head, I was almost going to mentally correct you when you said the pandemic started in 2020, and I was like, no, it was like it. That it's been going on this long and having that big of an impact on the funds. So thank you for the breakdown of all of that. And I don't have any other questions. So I think we're ready to take a motion on this one.
I move that we approve the budget as proposed. And again, I second Kathleen and thank you for the effort and the manipulating is a terrible word. The work that's been done to deal with this in the time of the pandemic, but I move to approve.
Yeah, I would also echo the thank you, and I can second it.
Okay, and the roll call vote, please, Kim?
Kathleen Mills,
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey,
Aye.
Israel Herrera,
Aye.
Jim Whitlatch.
Aye.
Okay, motion unanimously carried.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Paula.
Paula.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
And next, we'll hear from Sean Marlar with the review of a contract addendum with Marshall Security for Switchyard Park.
Hi, can everyone hear me? I was worried I had some audio issues. Okay. Sean Marlar, General Manager for Switchyard Park. Staff would like to recommend the approval of an addendum to extend the current security patrols at Switchyard Park with Marshall Security Services. The current contract ends at the end of the year. This addendum will cover the month of January until a new comprehensive contract with Marshall can be put into place. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, all right, so this is just a little bit of a stopgap until the comprehensive contract. Yeah, okay.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
I guess my only question, John, thank you for putting this together, is it, I know you noted in your comments there, sorry. Noted in your comments there that like we had added the daytime routes. We're not doing the daytime routes anymore, is that right? And we're just doing nighttime routes right now and then through January?
Correct. So
Okay.
what it is currently we have two agreements basically with Marshall Security. One is for Switchyard Park and the other is with Tim for the trails patrols.
Yeah.
This one is just for the nighttime security at Switchyard Park, and the comprehensive one that's coming in a little bit later next year will actually include both of those, just so it's in one document.
Okay, got it. Thank you for clarifying that.
Sure.
Okay, all right, any questions? Other questions?
Yeah,
for
I've got a question for the, and this may come later when you get to it, but on the what is our future plan for the comprehensive one that's coming next year? What is it going to look similar to what we're doing now? And are we going to open it up for any other bids, or what are we looking like moving forward on that?
Part of this process, Tim Street is handling, but it is being opened up for bids actually right now for that. We have multiple vendors, security contract vendors that will be bidding on that comprehensive package. There are meetings coming up soon regarding that. Because that couldn't be put in place in time, this is just a stopgap for security services only at Switchyard Park. But in the future, yes, that plan will include what is being done currently, both on the trails and at Switchyard.
So I assume I see Tim's turned his camera on, but I assume we'll be hearing more about what the plan is coming up here sometime in the near future. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, Sean got it. We had put together an RFP, and while we were waiting for the city budget to resolve, we just sort of ran out of time to execute that RFP and review proposals for the new year, and did not want our overnight Switchyard security to lapse. And so this is to add on time to that so we can keep that going while we get the RFP results early next year. And I'm sure we'll be coming back before you early next year.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you, Tim and Sean. And if there are any other questions, then we'll take a motion on this item C2.
Move that we approve the extension.
I can second.
All right, and the roll call vote?
Kathleen Mills,
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey,
Aye.
Israel Herrera,
Aye.
Jim Whitlatch.
Aye.
Okay, motion is carried. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
And next, Aaron will tell us about a service agreement with Bluestone for some tree pruning.
Hello, Erin Hatch, Urban Forester. Last contract of the year for urban forestry. This contract is much the same as ones that you've seen previously when it comes to pruning. This is a contract to prune, I believe, about 32 mature pin oaks along East Hickory Drive, Hickory Stick Drive, and South Olcott. These are areas that we've been kind of picking away at that have large mature oaks. Right now, the dormant season is the ideal time to prune these to reduce the chance of oak wilt spreading. And so this would just be continuing to address the pruning need in these neighborhoods. So at this time, I'm seeking approval of the contract with Bluestone Tree, and I believe it is for $10,561.50, and it's to be completed before the spring of next year.
Okay, during the dormancy I see in the, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, any questions for Aaron about the tree pruning contract?
Only whether you have a total number of tree pruning contracts presented in 2021. I'm just kidding.
I don't think it was actually that many, but probably felt like a lot.
No, I think it's always just like, I think you're always a regular, right? Like, is there anything that you missed this year?
There's always tree work.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Aaron, for all your work on it. I can
Okay.
move to approve. If there's
Okay.
any-
Second,
And a roll call vote?
Kathleen Mills,
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey,
Aye.
Israel Herrera,
Aye.
Jim Whitlatch.
aye.
Okay, motion unanimously carried. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
And next, item C4, Tim Street will tell us about the contract with Eagle Ridge Civil Engineering for Sherwood Oaks floodplain permitting.
Sorry, having a little trouble unmuting there. Hi, everybody. Tim Street, Operations Director for Bloomington Parks. We have a contract with Eagle Ridge Civil Engineering tonight for Sherwood Oaks environmental permitting. It is in the amount of $9,682 funded from our general fund. And what this contract is for coordinating permits with IDNR, Addendum, and potentially the Army Corps of Engineers for us to do some maintenance work along Jackson Creek in Sherwood Oaks Park. Specifically, we have some drainage issues where water comes down from the east from Olcott Park and floods the sidewalk, especially in the winter. We have a little bit of damage around the bridge in the sidewalk approaches that we want to take care of and fix that for long-term holistic stability. And a couple of culverts too. And because all of this work takes place in the floodplain, we have to go through permitting. We did do early coordination to see if we could just do it as maintenance and avoid the whole permitting process, and we cannot. So bring in someone like Eagle Ridge, who has a lot of experience permitting and is active in that arena right now. They can help us get this done quickly and efficiently.
Okay, all right, thank you, Tim. And sounds like it's certainly a good idea to address this if it's an ongoing issue there. Any questions for Tim about this one? Okay, all right, then I think we're ready for a motion on item C4.
Move we approve item C4.
A second.
Okay, and the roll call, please.
Kathleen Mills,
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey,
Aye.
Israel Herrera,
Aye.
Jim Whitlatch.
Aye.
Okay, that motion is carried, and then Tim will stay on with us here to tell us about a contract addendum with Scenic Construction Services.
Sure. So also we have said contract with addendum with Scenic Construction. This is in the amount of $53,318 funded from the Bicentennial Bond Series B. This is part of the Cascades Phase 5 Trail Project and Stream Bank Stabilization. This is to cover change order number 1, which encompasses a few different items with that project. It adds light fixtures along the newly constructed trail. We've determined we were able to restore that alternate from the original bid packet, which was a long-term goal to have light fixtures down there along the new quarter-mile section of trail to make it safer, to make it more pleasant, especially in the winter, short hours, things like that, getting to the waterfall shelter and across the bridge. It addresses a safety concern at the pedestrian bridge by fixing a drop-off into the creek. It corrects an electrical service issue to the waterfall shelter that was discovered as part of the project, and will fund the restoration of the waterfall spillway parking lot to turf instead of back to a gravel lot at the completion of the project, because we have closed the driving spillway access to drive across the spillway. So the spillway will still be there, but on the other side of it, there will not be parking lot any longer. While I had you, I thought I might show just a couple quick pictures too, just to give kind of a little progress update. The trail down there is open. Let me pull this up. So if you haven't had a chance to go through the trail circle, the new bridge are set. You can go through there and check that out. And the stream bank stabilization, that one, is coming along as well. So if you get a chance to drive through down there and take a look at the progress, things are moving along. But happy to answer questions about the addendum.
Okay, great. Thank you. Nice to see those update photos too. So any questions for Tim about this addendum? No? Okay, then we'll take a motion on this item C5.
I can move to approve.
Okay, and a
I
second?
can second.
Okay, and the roll call vote?
Kathleen Mills,
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey,
Aye.
Israel Herrera,
Aye.
Jim Whitlatch.
Aye.
Okay, motion is unanimously carried. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you very much.
And next we'll move on to hear from Joanna Sparks. Item C6 is a contract with Green Dragon Lawn Care for mowing and trimming at 20 primary parks locations.
Good afternoon. Joanna Sparks here. Can you guys, okay, there I am. All right. I wanted to present to you a renewal of the 2021 mowing and trimming contract with Green Dragon Lawn Care for the 20 primary parks locations that they were contracted to take care of this year. And part of the language of that contract allows renewal. I'll quote to you from the scope of services. The term of this contract shall be for 1 year with the option to renew for 2 or more terms, a 3-year maximum, under the exact terms of the original contract. So because we were pleased with their work, we would like to continue with their services for the exact same terms, meaning no change in location, services rendered, or funding. So I would be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thanks, Joanna. And I'm sure maybe, well, I'm not sure, but maybe sometimes when this comes up, people might think, well, I see, Parks Department crews mowing the parks as well. Why can't they do all of them? But I pointed out before, it's a very big undertaking and a lot of equipment to maintain. And I think you've also said, correct me if I'm wrong, sometimes it ends up being cheaper to contract with an outside company for some of these locations.
Absolutely, yes, with staffing and all those associated costs, as well as equipment maintenance, and equipment wears out. So the purchase of new equipment is very cost prohibitive.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And do we have any other questions for Joanna? Otherwise, we can take a motion on C6.
Move to approve.
Okay. And do we have a second? Okay. And the roll call vote, please.
Kathleen Mills,
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey,
Aye.
Israel Herrera,
Aye.
Jim Whitlatch.
Aye.
Okay, motion unanimously carried. And then Joanna will stay on to tell us about another contract with Green Dragon for mowing and trimming at some alternate locations.
Yes, and just to explain the primary versus alternate locations, the primary locations, those terms are just sort of random, but primary is indicative of parks, specific City of Bloomington Parks and Recreation Department properties. And the alternate locations references different public works properties, mostly right-of-ways that the Parks Department is responsible for maintaining. So there's street medians and such. So this is basically the same thing as the previous contract. It's same terms, everything, nothing changes. But same amount of money and with Green Dragon Lawn Care again for 2022. I'd be happy to answer any questions, provide more info.
Okay, thanks. Any questions about this one? Nope. All right, then we can, if someone would like to move to approve on C7.
Move we approve.
All right, in a second.
Second.
Okay. And a roll call vote, please.
Kathleen Mills,
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey,
Aye.
Israel Herrera,
Aye.
Jim Whitlatch.
Aye.
Okay, and that motion is unanimously carried. Thank you, Joanna. And next we'll hear from Steve Cotter about a contract addendum with Habitat Solutions for the prescribed burn at Griffey Lake Nature Preserve.
Thank you. Hello, I am Steve and I'm the Natural Resources Manager. And I'm here today to request an extension to the contract date with Habitat Solutions LLC to conduct a prescribed burn at Griffey Lake Nature Preserve next year. We had hoped to conduct the burn this year, but the timing of the contractor availability and the weather did not work out. So we're just hoping to carry this contract over to next year. Habitat Solutions conducted the first prescribed burn at Griffey Lake last year, and it went well. So we're eager to work with them again to improve the habitat in another area at Griffey Lake Nature Preserve.
Okay, all right, great. So just extending the contract into the new year. Any questions for Steve? No?
Move to approve.
Okay,
Second.
all right, and the roll call vote, please.
Kathleen Mills,
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey,
Aye.
Israel Herrera,
Aye.
Jim Whitlatch.
Aye.
Okay, motion is unanimously approved. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you very much.
And then Barb Dunbar will finish out our section C here. First up is the review of a service agreement with the Stables Events, Izzy's Rentals for some portalets at 11 locations.
Good afternoon, Barb Dunbar, Operations Coordinator. Last month, I was the very first one on the agenda. This month, I'm the very last. That's funny. Okay, so I just have a couple service agreements. The reason these couldn't go through, these are not new, but they could not go through the consent calendar because they are over $10,000. So that is why they do have to be presented separately for approval. So the first one is with Izzy's. We just recommend review and approval of the service agreement for the operations division for 11 locations where we have portalets. And that are just, we now own all 11 of those, and we only are paying for monthly cleaning and pumping services. But we have just recently added one more because of by popular demand of the pickleball at RCA Park. They're playing year round over there. It's so popular. So they have asked for a portalet since there is a restroom facility at RCA, but during the winter months, those have to be winterized and closed down. So we have placed for just the winter months, a new portalet that will be renting just for 3 months at the RCA Park to service those persistent pickleball players. So we've got that, just one more added there. So this is just services are provided to the city on an annual basis. The funding is through the general fund operations budget. And just FYI, in 2021, our total expense for portalet services totaled $11,040. So the new one at RCA Park is running about $116 a month is all. So that'll just be a little bit of an increase, tiny little increase for 2022 with the few months of the new one at RCA Park. And that's pretty much that one.
Okay. Thanks, Barb. Any questions for Barb? Otherwise, we can go to a motion.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
All right, and the roll call vote, please.
Kathleen Mills,
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey,
Aye.
Israel Herrera,
Aye.
Jim Whitlatch.
Aye.
All right, unanimously approved. And then Barb has one more service agreement with Woods Electrical for services at Park Properties.
Yes, we just recommend approval of another service agreement for the operations and potentially sports division with Woods Electrical Contractors for general repairs, adjustments, and/or replacement of lighting and electrical components at all various locations within the department. These are just provided on an as-needed basis and are funded through multiple 300 service lines from both the operations and division and the sports divisions. So this is just when we keep adding more and more lighting to the parks, and it's just harder and harder to keep up. Years ago, our facility maintenance guys in the ops division could handle most of the electrical repairs and such, but boy, we have just added so much lighting and more advanced type of lighting throughout our park system over the years that it just requires calling professional services and licensed electricians. Woods is not, as you may be aware, because I think John Turnbull already put in some service agreements. We use probably at least 4 that I can think of, different electrical contractors for the department. Cassidy, Price, Woods. I know Sean uses Electric Plus a lot for Switchyard Park because they're the ones that installed all the electric in the first place. So it makes sense to use them. So using just one contractor for electric work in our department probably wouldn't even work because there's too much of a demand that one company could not do it all. So it's nice to have several different contractors we can call at any moment's time. Any questions?
All right, any questions for Barb about this one?
I move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
And the roll call vote?
Kathleen Mills,
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey,
Aye.
Israel Herrera,
Aye.
James Whitlatch.
Aye.
All right. Thank you, Barb.
Thank you.
And then we have no reports this month. We will go to public comment if we have any comments on Facebook or in email. We'll just take a minute to check if we have anyone who would like to comment.
I don't have anything in my email, and we are not live streaming on Facebook, so.
Okay. All right.
And if anybody on Zoom would like to make a comment, they can raise their hand, please.
All right. I don't see any raised hands. So we will assume there are no public comments then, and we will turn back over to you, Paula.
Okay, thank you very much. Wow, a lot of housekeeping. So thank you for approving the contracts and agreements that you did, because that set staff up nicely in January so they can just hit the ground running when we all get back from a little bit of a break. So thank you. I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank you all for your service this year and sticking with us as we continue to meet virtually. Someday we will all meet in person and we'll, make introductions in person because some of you have served virtually your whole term. So we're training in council chambers. So we will be ready. It's a little bit of a twist on what we were used to do in person, but we look forward to that day. So let's just all continue to be safe and hopefully work towards that. So I just again want to give you a great big thank you. We will meet again in late January 25th to be exact. So Kim will be in touch. I think she's already distributed the 2022 meeting calendar for next year and that. So some housekeeping items in that meeting to kick off the year, but I look forward to working with you all in the new year. And we do have a ribbon cutting at Winslow Woods Playground on December 17th. So I sent you an email. I'm looking for a speaker from one of you that might be willing to join us and say a few words to represent the Parks Board. So we'll work through that and hopefully see you there. That's all I have.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. And yes, we'll see everyone in January. So stay warm tonight.